And what's up, YouTube? It's Joey Bags, and guess what? I got a good one for you today. Super late. It's almost 3 a.m. Actually, 2:51 a.m. in the morning. And guess what? I got my RENNSPORT Beta key. Finally, after months of waiting, I got this key. So you know what? Let's not waste a minute, and let's get right into it. So, off jump to let you know. This game is a reverse force feedback game. So one of the first things you'll have to do after you set up your your wheel and your button binds and your pedals and everything is in the settings of the game. You can go in and actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's go into options, controls, and basic steering. Once you bind all this, let's see. Okay, force feedback. You'll want to go to force feedback, and right here where it says invert, you'll want to click invert. So it's happened to me in R Factor 2 because that's a reverse force feedback game, and I think Race Room Evolution is also. Some wheels, once you get into the sim, if it's reverse force feedback, your wheel just turns all the way either to the left or to the right, all the way full to lock, and it just stays stuck there. If it happens to you and it does that, that's because it's a reverse force feedback game. What's happened in other games to me besides the full lock, like this one, as I'm turning left or right, you can feel it as the wheel turns, it just wants to go all the way. And in doing that, that's another indicator. It's a reverse force feedback game. So just go into your settings, click invert, and you're good to go. Now, another way to do that is to go into the settings of the wheel and click reverse. That'll straighten it out also. So you have those two options. But the cool part is, in game they give it to you. Like R Factor 2, you can do it in game if you go negative on the force feedback. What I had to do for my PXN v12 Lite, the 6 Newton meter direct drive from PXN, is the force feedback wasn't bad, but I wanted it to be a little bit stronger, so I kicked up the force strength all the way to 100. It was initially at 50. The wheel torque capability, I took it up to 15. I mean, this is a 6 Newton meter base. I don't think it's really going to try to output all that much torque, but whatever. The sensitivity, I left it where it was. Minimum force, I left it where it was. Tick rate, I left all those settings as is. That's my settings for force feedback. Oh, don't tell me my mouse just died. Let me go ahead and quickly plug it in. All right, we're good to go now. Bindings, that's going to be specific for you, but you've got a ton of bindings. You've got car, camera, in-car menu, spectator bindings, inversion options. So if you want to like change things around, I guess maybe if some people like to run their monitors upside down because of bezels and whatnot, and it gets it closer to the wheelbase and to the wheel, whatever. Some people like to do that. So I'm going to only assume that this inversion, especially turn camera upside down, invert, turn camera, I'm going to assume those are for that. Some of this other stuff, I don't know if people like to play backwards. I have no idea, but they give you those options. And then interface, once again, this is all stuff you'll set up for yourself. But basically, your bindings are going to be here. Your main, you set up your throttle, the sensitivity, dead zone, scale, offset, invert. You've got all these here. You can set up a secondary. So I was able to set up my clutch paddle, my dual paddles as the secondary clutch. I was able to set. You could also set a secondary, control. So let's say you have dexterity issues, or maybe you don't have pedals, or you've got some issues with that. If your wheel gives you that option of secondary paddles, you could set up the secondary paddles as a accelerator and brake. So it's kind of nice that they're giving you these secondary options for your inputs. I was able to set up the paddles on my wheel, and also my modded sequential shifter. So I'm able to use that if I wanted to. Um, I was able to set up my handbrake. I don't know what we use a handbrake in GT3 or something, but whatever. I was able to, so I did it. I don't know what the whole turn left, turn right is. That may be for controllers. I'm not sure. And power demand, I'm also not sure what that is for. It doesn't say what that is, so I'm just going to let it be. If somebody knows what power demand is, go ahead, leave it in the comment section. I'd love to know, but that's pretty much it. Force feedback is really the biggie, and here, this is how I have mine's set up. So we can now go back. Like I said, video graphics, I run 1366 by 768. You know, we all know I have the super ancient ass 720p TV, so this is what I'm running. This is why I'm able to run everything epic. I'm not running a frame limit, so that's why you saw me at like 180 frames. Really, audio, same deal. I turn down music and whatnot. Just, it is what it is. And gameplay. So I'm on hood camera. I can change my FOV if I wanted to. I can change distance, lateral height. You know, you can actually change quite a few things, you know, depending on the camera view that you're in, which is kind of cool. The displays, your HUD. I changed everything for me, English, Imperial, and PSI, you know, what I'm accustomed to. Assists. This is what it is. Engine starter, clutch, lifts. I have some of that there. I have telemetry enabled, but I don't have anything to output the telemetry to, so whatever. And then replays, I have saved my replays enabled, and that's it. So now let's get back into driving. So this is actually the second time we're recording this, because the first time my mic was muted. The force feedback is leaving a bit to be desired. It's feeling a bit loose around the center. It's a little light, but I do get road feel. I do feel bumps. I do feel dips. I do feel curbings. I don't know if I'm feeling understeer. I'm not exactly sure what else is coming through the wheel. Like I said, it's a little light on the force feedback. Now, I'm sure I can go into my wheel settings and start adjusting things so that way I can get a bit more feel, which I will probably end up doing. But kind of just like an off the rip, you know, got it, installed it, and wanted to get it going and see what minimal things I had to do. I really can't complain. It's actually very playable. I'm just kind of like just driving around, not really going for any specific times, and quite honestly, we all know I'm not the fastest of drivers, you know, I'm just whatever. And usually across most of the sims where I'm on Spa, except for Assetto Corsa when I'm using the super special URD NSX that I'm running in like 211, I usually run about a 230 to 229. I mean, depends if I'm booking it. Quite honestly, those are the times that I'm running in this sim. So I'm going to say that it's pretty on point with all the other ones. The graphics, they remind me a lot of ACC. These are ACC graphics. Now, Granted, I am running at 1366 by 768, so there is that. I am running things kind of on Epic though. This is kind of what ACC looks like for me too. So for me, it looks very similar to ACC. Makes me a little disappointed in that. But I'm not going to knock the game because I'm also running a like I said, 1366 by 768 monitor or TV. I'm sure if I decided to super sample and run at 1440 or even 4K, I'm sure it would probably look a lot better. Handling isn't bad. I'm sure there's probably, you know, the natural built-in assists that are on these cars, you know, force feedback. I'm not force feedback, ABS, traction control, which you can see there. ABS is set at 8 out of 11. Traction control is set at a 4 out of 12. So that's not bad. The car handles pretty good. I'm not really trying to toss it into corners and manhandle it. I'm just kind of like just driving around like I normally would. You know, just a leisurely pace. I would like a little bit more weight on the wheel, but it is what it is. I did test out the Praga, and the Praga did give me that weight that I was looking for as we were coming up into speed. So, you know, there is that. Sound design isn't bad. So right now you can hear it. This is what it sounds like in, I guess, hood mode. That's what they're calling this. Hood view. I will go ahead and we're on the straight. So this is in chase. Close chase. In cockpit. Yeah. It sounds a lot better in cockpit. Now we'll move to in cockpit, but I guess close to windshield mode, whatever it is. It sounds a little bit better. Hood mode. That's actually not too bad and still sounds pretty okay. Oof. So in hood mode, it's not too bad. And then we've got this mode, whatever it is, where the sounds are just all kinds of muted. I'm pretty sure maybe the sounds will change in changing the FOV and those other settings that I showed you earlier. But like I said, I just wanted to get in it and just try it because I've been waiting so long. So, you know, this is what I'm showing you. Handling's okay. I wish it was a little heavier. Sound design is okay. I think some other sims handle sounds better. Also, this is beta, so we got to give it a little slack. You know, this isn't the finished, polished production game. So, you know, we'll cut them a little slack on that. Really, right now, it's kind of like every other sim that I play where it's just me by myself. So, I don't know. I don't think there's AI to race against. So, there's that. It would be nice if there was, just because I really don't like playing online multiplayer. And it's usually just because people kind of suck. You know, and I when I say suck, they just like, they don't race clean, or it's just annoying. Same reason why I kind of don't like playing COD online. It's just like, You know, or if I do, I just have to keep it muted the whole time because, oh my god, some of the little squeakers, those little squeaky kids, oh my god, they're annoying. So I'm sure if I play this online, which I'll go ahead and I'll give it a try. Just, you know, I normally don't, but I will, just to give it a fair shake. I mean, other than that, honestly, it feels like it's in beta. It really does. It does feel like a beta. And, like, right now, the way I'm driving through here, it really reminds me of ACC. I feel like I'm playing ACC. ACC with... I really don't like this HUD or UI. I really don't. I think ACC's is better. And I think almost anything I can set up in Assetto Corsa, you know, the mods, is 10 times better. Quite honestly, I think even some of the older titles look better than this, at least the HUD that I'm looking at here. Earlier tonight, I did a video where I was racing in AMS2, so you should see that on the channel probably within a day or so. That interface, it's kind of similarly in the blockiness. We're talking AMS2 is like, what, 10-plus-year-old sim? So, I don't want to, like, really get on the RENNSPORT guys, because I'm sure you're putting a lot of work into it, but, you know, it's a beta, but I hope this really isn't the finished product, because it's kind of... If you're catering this to esports, then a lot of this makes sense. Really, think about all the games that tend to be catered towards esports. You want to be able to make them run on a frickin' potato. Because you don't want anything that's going to cause lag or, you know, graphical issues. So, yeah, I can kind of see where it's a little lackluster. But, like I was saying, esports titles, you know, yeah, you want them to run on a potato, so I guess it is what it is. It still needs a bit of, you know, polishing up, and it's still in beta. You can tell that. There's no doubt. And hopefully, you know, it moves along quicker. Now we have more people. Well, they're dropping more beta keys. I got one. Feedback will be given to the devs. You know, hopefully they're watching for hashtags and, you know, RENNSPORT mentions on YouTube, and you'll catch this video. I don't know if I'm gonna... Well, maybe I'll send you the link directly to your contact us page, or I'll hit up the Discord and be like, hey, you know, here's my criticism or my, you know, my thoughts. You know, watch this video. I guess I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting a little bit more. I think just because of all the esports, or should I say that ESSR1 or whatever that they were doing, you know, kind of hyped it up a bit, and we'll see. I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a go through. I'm going to race the other vehicles. They gave you touring cars now. So before it was just like 1 or 2 GT3 cars and like the Paraga. Poop. Now they've given you other cars, so that's cool. I'll try that out, and I'll do that with online racing. But I really just wanted to kind of get this video out there real quick for you guys. World's first RENNSPORT Beta with PXN v12 Lite 6 Nm direct drive wheelbase. World's first. And if I'm not world's first, guess what? I'm still claiming world's first. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope if any of you got beta keys, you'll see my settings. Maybe that'll help you out. You know, go from there. If you find anything better, leave them in the comments down below. Of course, you know, I'm always reading. I love interacting with you guys. It's like one of my favorite things. And yeah, like, sub, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.